Stephanie, as we kind of start to wrap up, I'm curious, what would you or what do you tell people that want to try to be a part of change and aren't really sure exactly what to do or, kind of, how to make a difference? What do you tell people about, kind of how we need to come together and start to work to make a difference, the difference that many people want to see happen, but they're not doing anything for whatever reason. Maybe they don't know where to start or how to do it.
Yeah, I was with a group of JP Morgan Chase leaders last week, and they asked me the same thing. And so I'll say for like employers, and especially small and medium-sized business employers, if you have people of color in your organizations, you need to create opportunities and spaces for them to be their authentic selves. Um, and what I mean by that is so that they don't have to feel like they have to come to work and they have to code switch. I'm really bad on TikTok, Brett. I'm really, really bad. I can sit for like 2 or 3 hours on TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
One of my entertainment. And there's this TikTok piece on there now that has this Black woman who she comes in the door and she's like, "Hey, what's up, so-and-so?" And then her Latina brother, she's like, she's screaming. And then she gets to the water cooler, right? And she immediately code switches with her white colleague. And she's like, "Oh, good morning. How are you today? Did you have fun at this weekend at your whatever?" And her whole demeanor and her whole voice changed and whatever. And so it was like it was something about the authentic code switching. So how do leaders in their companies, how do you begin to have that conversation about the need for your employees? I don't care if it's 2, I don't care if it's 10, that they can come to work and be their authentic selves and not be penalized for it. And do you create avenues or forums or conversational areas to have that kind of dialogue? I think that's really, really important, because then what it does is it gives you an opportunity in those employees or people who don't know where to start. It gives you an opportunity to learn a little bit more about that person or maybe their experience, so that when you do go out and maybe want to try to do something, you have a different mindset or thought process about maybe why you want to do it. Come to organizations like the Urban League and other organizations that are mission led by Black people or deal with Black kids and Black families, and come and do some volunteering, real volunteering. And this is not to knock anybody who's been working, but when you go once a year and go and serve chicken or dinner for Thanksgiving, it's a little bit different if you come and do that and go sit down at their tables and you have dinner with those people and have a real conversation with them. Not just I'm standing behind the table and I'm passing you out the food and I'm having a casual conversation.
Volunteering, look at me, checkbox, post it on Instagram.
Exactly.
Get in there and do the work and really get to know somebody that's in that situation.
Yeah, come down to a shelter and really stay. I'm not saying stay the night, but work with them in the shelter like the people do to, as intake. So you'll know what that person's challenge have been. If they've been somebody that's been, part of domestic violence, or if they get their, if they've just got evicted and they got a car full of clothes, or if their kids are, they've been sleeping in a car for, 2 or 3 months, and you have a real conversation with them and you got to get them, navigate the system. Do that a couple of times. I think you will have, and then just and I tell jokingly some of my friends, just go find you a real Black friend, right? Just to have real talk with them. We have this group called the Edge Sisters now. We have real conversations. And these are conservative women. These are CEO women. And they've had Black colleagues, and they've had, I would say, they've had Black friends, but not friends, like sister girl friends. So that we can have real conversations. And I also get to learn too, because I learn about some of their I'm not going to say they're privileged, but why sometimes white people think, but I've always, because I jokingly say I've had 2 white husbands, so I come from a different vantage point.
Oh, that's great. Stephanie, thank you for taking the time to do this and sharing your story. And we'll make sure people know in the show notes where to find you and the Urban League, and any other kind of final thoughts you want to leave for the audience.
Now, just I want to thank you, all seriousness, for your willingness to be vulnerable and to be a part of the work that we're doing in this D&I space, because you are becoming one of those leaders in that space. And so just want to say publicly to you, thank you for being your authentic self and being vulnerable to put yourself in a position so that you can help to change this community. So thank you.
Well, that means a lot, coming from you. As you know, as I just expressed in the last committee meeting, sometimes I just don't feel like I'm even qualified, but I'm staying in the room. I want to be there. And then, the authentic self piece, I've kind of started to just try to tackle the issue in my own way too. And I had been doing this long before, the last year and a year and a half or whatever, but I've been investing in minority entrepreneurs because I think that's something I do know how to do. We talked about this, and so I think, I say that because there's all kinds of ways to lean in. And if there's a way where you're more comfortable, great.
Yeah.
We need to lean in all kinds of ways, but I appreciate you saying that. And, really I'm learning a lot. And it's from people like you. So it's great to have this time with you and look forward to a lot more.